This is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. What are we doing today? Well, first off, we're riding the magicycle Ocelot Pro 2.0. Yeah, I decided I'd take a 20-inch wheel bike out today. A little easier to maneuver sometimes than the big 26-inch style bikes. And so, yeah, I decided to take this out because I'm testing out the new audio gear. Now, this is not the first time I'm testing it out. This is actually the second time I've been testing it out. First time I took it out was yesterday, but I decided to scrap it all. All right, hold on a second here. Until we pass through here. Let this bus go first. I think the bus was kind of sitting there waiting to see if I would go because he didn't want to run me over. So yeah, I'm a little under the weather. Yeah, for the last few days I've been a little sick, not feeling that well. So I kind of stayed off the bike for a while. So it's first time back out in several days. And anyway, the audio equipment came in. The audio equipment came in and I wasn't able to try it. Yeah, you know, when you're not feeling well, you don't feel like doing anything. You can even hear it still in my voice. It kind of messed up my voice a little bit. And we had a bike that came in too last week. I got to do that review. There's a lot of noise out here today. Guy's cutting concrete over there. And then we got all the cicadas out too. I mean, even these cicadas seem to be making noise even during the daytime. A lot of the those 17-year brood ones, they weren't making noise until the evening, at least that I noticed. And then we didn't have that many in the first place. But these annual ones, they're all out now, so they're all making all sorts of noise. Trying to find an area where there isn't that much noise. I don't think I can avoid it, unfortunately. For the next several weeks, all we're going to hear are these cicadas in the background every time I make a video. And I noticed too that the new audio recorder picks up a lot more ambient noises than I prefer. I mean, if you listen, I mean, how could you not hear that, right? Now, the audio recorder does have a noise cancellation circuit. I'm hesitant in kicking those in because trying it on some other devices before, usually you have some type of audio artifacts that happen when you do that. I mean, it's basically trying to analyze the background noises and then just trying to eliminate that. That's going to affect the sound of your actual voice too. Plus, I think a lot of people said that they like hearing, I mean, they don't like hearing a motor noise, but they know the motor noise is there, and if you eliminate the motor noise even, it doesn't sound like you're even riding a real bike. It almost sounds like you're just doing a voiceover or something. So I have to figure out what is the best way to do this. All right, seems like a little quieter over here. Let's go up the hill here. So yeah, another bike had come in, but you know, not feeling well, and hearing my voice being so bad as it is, I said, I can't do this review. It sounds awful. So I was tempted to take it out on this ride to test it out a little bit, but I wanted to talk about some other things first and showing the bike that way before actually showing the actual review. It didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. So I said, okay, we got to take a bike out that we've already done before. So here's the things that I've noticed with this audio recorder. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about health issues too. So, so anyway, I have the audio recorder receiver connected to the hot shoe, or I should say the cold shoe mount. That's part of the GoPro media mod. Well, the problem is you have to plug that. You have to plug that unit in through a cable, which is connected to the back end of the media mod. Well, the minute you do that, that cable pushes the camera forward in such a way that it tends to tilt it downwards instead of straight across. And as we know, we've had some issues of the angle of how we see the videos, right? That's why I bought this this new GoPro chest mount. Seems like the old one actually has less of that potential problem because it kind of sticks out a little bit more, but the GoPro mount is kind of close, really close to your chest. And so with that cable in the back pushing forward, it was angling down to the point where I could see the handlebar, but I couldn't really see the forward view as much. So I said, I have to figure a way to angle this, people playing pickleball here. Got to find a way to angle this such that, more noise. Got a guy blowing leaves. Leaf blower. So I said, how am I going to angle this thing? Morning. So here's what I figured the best way to do it was. Put a piece of padding on the bottom half of the chest mount. All right. So what this does is it angles the chest mount in the opposite direction that the camera is being angled. So that's essentially the net result is a vertical camera. All right. Now the way I did this is I took a sponge, you know, like a dishwashing sponge, one of those things, folded it in half to make it thicker, put a rubber band around it so it would stay folded. Then I stick that thing on the bottom half of the chest mount. So it's kind of leaning up against my chest, trying to straighten out the camera. Now I think this is going to work because I'm looking at this and the camera looks pretty straight now, whereas without it, the camera tilts downwards. So when I get home, I'll get to see the footage to see if in fact it does do what I hope it will do. Then another thing I noticed when I was doing that recording yesterday, all the background noises that were being picked up, okay? I don't think I can avoid that. I think it's just a function of how this transmitter works. The microphone element picks up everything. It's not as isolating as the lavalier mic that I use from Shure Brothers. And but here's the thing that is good. We'll go around a couple more times here since it seems to be quiet in this area. You have to set the levels of properly on the transmitter and the receiver. So because of how loud I talk, which is not super loud when I'm writing, I have to give a plus 8 dB gain to the transmitter output, but then I do a -2 on the receiver input. The reason for this is because there's a backup recorder chip built into the transmitter so that in case this receiver picks up an interference and then you have bad audio directly onto the audio track of your GoPro, you still have a secondary recording on the transmitter that you can rely on. Well, if I leave it at 0 dB, I know a lot of this sounds too much for you guys, but if I left it at 0 dB, audio's too soft. Even if I increase the gain on Final Cut Pro, which is my editing software on Apple, it's not enough to give enough volume level. So to create a good volume level for the transmitter itself without using a receiver, meaning just the built-in chip, it needs a +9 level from me. but that of course is a little too hot for the receiver to receive, so I have to drop that by -2. Now there is a compression sound that I noticed too. It's not as dynamic as the other microphone. I sound a little more compressed, and also the low end sounds a little more muted or muffled than I prefer. So what I ended up finding out I needed to do is I needed to equalize the audio. Now, there's a lot of equalization options within Final Cut Pro if you go into the audio section of it and check all the effects things and all that stuff. You can put compression in there, you can put voice enhancement things and everything. So I tried a bunch of different things and found one that I thought sounded half decent. And so I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Now, it's not as clear as our old videos. I already know that. However, the fact that I can, at this point now, send the audio out of the transmitter right into the receiver, which is connected to the audio section of the GoPro video, that eliminates a lot of extra work I have to do matching up the audio track from my old audio recorder to the audio tracks on the visuals. So, I mean, it's not that hard. It automatically does it for me, but you still have to go through that process. And if you have a whole bunch of files that you're working with, let's say you record something all day long, and you don't just have like one video on that memory card. You have like 4 or 5 different videos. GoPro splits up the file into multiple files per video. Now you got to match all those files to all the different audio files that you have to turn on and turn off the recorder to match the projects that you're working on. It's just too much. That's why I felt that I needed to make this change. Although I know that the sound quality is not as good, I had to make the change because it's just on a logistics standpoint of editing and everything. I said that I have no option. I have to do it. So that's why I did it. Now, I mentioned too in a video not long ago, I think it was Thursday's video that you probably saw, that there's something special coming up. And that is going to require me to do all that on multiple files. So I had to find a solution, otherwise it would be a logistic nightmare by the time I got home and try to put everything together. It's just too much. So this, I think, will solve the problem. Now, it's a learning curve, and sonically speaking, I'm not as satisfied. But editing speaking, I'm very satisfied. And you have to remember too, I have a background in audio. I mean, I started out my whole career after college, working in my dad's stereo store, running a recording studio out of there as well, and then becoming a forensic audio expert, a court expert in forensic audio. So I had access to some of the best gear that's available, the best mics, the best gear. I mean, I had surveillance equipment available to me. It was like $20,000 to get this little recorder thing that we use for surveillance. And obviously, I don't have that kind of access anymore. But when you're used to that type of gear, and then you see things that don't perform sonically as well as you prefer, yeah, you're not as happy. Yeah, I think the more you're exposed to better stuff, it's kind of hard to go back. So anyway, that's the story behind it. I'm sticking to it. All right. So I'm getting kind of bored going around in circles in here. Let's get out of this thing. So let me tell you the health update. I know we just had a health update on Thursday, but you have to remember that some of these recordings were done a week or two ago. So what you saw on Thursday, where I announced that I was down 38 pounds, that's a couple weeks ago, although you just saw it. So where are we actually today? Yeah, we're down 42 pounds. Yeah, 42 pounds, I'm telling you. So where does that put us? Well, we started out at 268, right? When we started this whole journey of trying to get a diet going. Yeah, I see going out on the streets, we hear the cicadas again. I think that area was the clearest thing we could have been on. I mean, it's kind of boring riding around in circles there, but we don't hear the cicadas there. Anyway, we were at 268. As of this morning, I weighed in at 225.4. Let's call it 226, okay? So yeah, I'm in the upper mid-20s, 220s now, yeah. Yeah, kind of surprising. I haven't been that low in weight since about 40 years ago. Easily 40 years ago. Yeah, okay, let's head back towards that area. I can't stand hearing the cicadas while I'm talking. So yeah, and now part of me thinks, did some of it get lost because I wasn't feeling well for the last couple days and wasn't eating as much in the last couple days? No, not actually. If anything, it might be 2 pounds at most, which would make me at least 40 pounds down, right? But we'll call it 42 pounds down. 42 pounds down is pretty good, I think. Yeah. So how do I look? Well, I still look overweight. Let's head over here again. I still look overweight. I think you'll always look a little overweight if you've been overweight for so long. But I do look thinned out in other areas. I mean, people say, when you look at your face, you can tell. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it looks a little thinner. All of my clothes don't fit me well anymore. Yeah, let's go the opposite direction this time. We always go the other direction. Let's go this way. So, yeah, it's to the point now where the clothes are kind of hanging on me more than they really should. But again, I'm still hesitant in buying any new clothes. Simply because I know I'm still working on the diet. It's not like I've stopped. And if I lose any more and I bought new clothes, then I may have to buy new clothes again. So forget it. We can work with the old clothes hanging on me for a while. It doesn't matter who sees me. Nobody does. I actually have very little contact with people throughout the week. It's true. The only people that I actually see is Mrs. Wright on a daily basis. And then sometimes I'll go to Costco or something like that, get a hot dog and a pizza. As you know, I know you guys don't like it when I do that. And then people at church. That's it. So I see people on Sunday. I mean, okay, well, with Costco, it's not like I talk to anybody. I just get my hot dog and pizza, I sit down and I eat it and I leave. So, I mean, you see people, but I don't have interaction with anybody really. So yeah, I'm kind of a lonely guy during the week. I kind of stay by myself, do things on my own. Mrs. Wright comes home, I say hello. And then a couple hours later, she's off to bed and ready for the next day. I mean, it's really since being retired, I have had very few interaction with people. Now, this was not always the case, okay? This was not always the case. I used to run a photography school, I had a lot of students. I numbered them around 12,000, something like that. So you think about how many people I was in contact with over the years, just for the school alone, it's a lot. And now it's boiled down to like virtually nobody. Yeah, I don't see anybody. I think the one thing being retired is that you've got to find things to do or you'd be bored out of your mind. I mean, for the last several days, I've been under the weather. I don't know why they call it under the weather. Why is it called under the weather? I keep running into these these catchphrases people use. Where'd that come from? Yeah, put a comment below if you know where that came from, under the weather. So I've been under the weather. Okay, we got two people here. We're going to have to slow down. I can't pass them in the middle. I'll let them kind of do their thing here. All right, hold on. So anyways, I've been under the weather, and so I've just been inside the house. Not much to do. Couldn't go riding, had no videos to edit because I didn't shoot anything. Yeah, you get really bored. You know, that's why I recognize that a lot of people who are retired people are always looking for something to do, you know, just for a change of pace. Okay, too many people up ahead, let's go turn. Something to do, yeah. I think if I didn't have the e-bikes to go out riding with, I would be stuck inside the house a lot. I don't know what I would do. Bore you to death. And again, like I said before in the past, without you guys, it'd be more boring as I'm riding because I'd have nobody to talk to. I mean, technically, there's nobody here talking to me, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, you know, you guys are keeping me company, gives me something to talk about. So I kind of feel like somebody's with me, even though physically nobody's actually here with me. You know, you guys do that too. You know, you've told me that, many of you guys have told me that you stream the Russ is Right videos while you're riding your e-bike. You know, you don't really watch me. I mean, every now and then maybe you take a peek. You don't need to really see me, you know, but you can listen to see what I have to say, right? And so I kind of do the same thing. You know, I'm talking to you guys while I'm riding. You're listening to me while you're riding. So yeah, we do the same things. We're connected that way. So how's the wind rejection on this? I have that dead cat filter on the transmitter. And it's not really windy today. I mean, I'm looking at the trees, nothing's really moving, but of course you have some wind that blows against you when you're riding. And there's always people riding around. And so, so yeah, let's go this way. We have some wind blowing up against you as you ride forward, but there's no like heavy winds blowing. I think looking at what the weather had said, it was only like 5 what would you call it, 5 miles an hour of wind. That's like nothing. Nothing's happening. Anyways, put a comment below what you think of the audio quality. I'm sure you're not going to like it as much as the other one. I mean, I'm not as happy with it, but I'm happy with the workflow, knowing things that are coming up that I have to do soon. Yeah, so how much did I spend on all this audio gear? Yeah, about $550, something like that. So what I ended up getting was I got a GoPro media mod, which is necessary for you in order to plug in external microphones and the like. Otherwise, you have the internal microphones from GoPro, which is, as we all know, doesn't cut it. Sounds awful. So I had to buy that. Then I bought the transmitter with the two transmitters with the receiver. This is from DJI. It's called the Mic 2. Many of you guys have that. I know that. I only use one mic at a time, but if I ever have to do an interview with anybody, I have enough, what is that? It's a piece of garbage on the ground. I was like, what is that, dead blackbird or something? It's a garbage bag or something. So, so I got that, and then I bought 2 more GoPro batteries, which is the Endura, I think it's Endura, is that what they call it? Endura batteries, which are the ones that handles the cold weather better. can't pronounce things there. And of course, it has its own little extra charger case thing. Not case, but it's where you charge the batteries up. So now I have two charger cases and 5 GoPro batteries. You know, the thing is with GoPro, and some of you guys have mentioned this too, is their batteries and their cameras tend to overheat. Yeah, if wind was not blowing against my camera, this camera would be shutting down left and right. Others have said you need to switch to the DJI camera, which doesn't seem to have an overheating issue. No, I'm kind of used to the GoPro, so I decided to stick with it. We know what we got, we know what the quality is, I know how to set up the video levels and colors and everything to make it look good. They want to go through another thing, plus that would probably add another $400 or more. So yeah, so that's the new stuff. The microphone is clipped onto my chest mount on one of the straps, and the camera, of course, is mounted onto the chest mount. I'm gonna have to let this guy know I'm coming here. Thank you. So, transmitter, of course, transmits out, and then the receiver end of it is clipped onto the GoPro Media Mod on the code shoe. It's actually clipped to the side code shoe. They have a top code shoe and a side code shoe. The top one you can't do because it covers the start-stop button if you do that. But if you use the side one, it doesn't. Now, it's kind of tight because there's a extra microphone that's part of the Media Mod. And so that sticks up a little bit, and so that kind of pushes up against the receiver of the audio system. But after a little bit of time, it loosens up a little bit. So it gets on there okay now, no problems. Then there's that cable that you have to connect to the back of the Media Mod, and that's the thing that sticks out, which causes a potential issue of tilting the camera. So let's go forward here. So I think I've got to make a better solution than putting a sponge on the bottom half of the chest mount, because I mean, if that sponge were to fall off, then I'd have the same problem again, right? So I think what I need to do is I need to make some type of wedge-looking thing that I could attach to the camera mount, to the chest mount, so that it's permanently in that angle position that I need it to be in. So the minute I put on the chest mount, immediately we're in the correct position. So I don't know what I'm going to use for that, whether I have to fashion something out of wood or something. I mean, the reason I kind of like the sponge is that if I ever took a fall, the sponge is not going to hurt as much on your sternum. You put something like a wood piece there, you fall on top of that thing, it's going to crack your sternum. So I need to find a good solution for that. But right now, I think it should look okay. Now, this bike, you know, the handlebars, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a U-shape type of thing. So you don't see the center that well anyway. You might see my cell phone case or something. But people have said that they really don't want, they don't want to see a lot of the handlebar. They want to see more of the forward view. So that angling is kind of an important thing, but it can't be so straight that you don't see any of the handlebar, because then it doesn't even look like you're riding a bike. It just looks like you're floating or something, you know. Got to have some reference point, right? So anyways, this is all technical stuff, you know. I'm putting this on a Anything Goes Monday video. Because while this is kind of e-bike related, it's still kind of off topic. It's not quite a you know, e-bike only topic. So, all right, that's really about all I have for you guys for today. Just wanted to see how this thing would turn out on the second ride out. Go back and review the footage, listen to the sound, make the adjustments that I need, and then make notes as to what sounds the best, so that future videos have some consistency, right? You gotta create some type of thing so that it's fast and easy to do and apply to all footage that's recorded. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think about the weight loss. Yeah, it's a little better than what I told you on Thursday. And then let me know how you guys are doing too, because I know several of you guys said you guys are going to go on a diet along with me. Did you lose anything? I mean, I hope I'm not the only guy that has been working on this thing. Hopefully you guys have done something as well. I'll talk to you guys next time.